Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to part 12 of my Outer Worlds stream. Llama! If you're new and you don't know why I just said that, go back and check out part 11. Better yet, why not go back and check out the whole rest of the series? Anyway, I'm your host, Arun Dragon, and today we're going to be picking up where we left off on Gorgon. Hopefully we won't have to deal with the man who can only say llama again. Now I haven't done any off-camera work since last stream, partly because I wouldn't know. Oh, thank God, that's just a corpse. For a second I thought it had respawned in the time since the last stream. But, okay, accident report. Gorgon mines. Minecart derailed from cargo track during transport, falling a significant distance before striking the ground with considerable force, spilling its cargo and damaging the unit. Cause: worker inability to appropriately manage spatial location, remain cognizant of environmental hazards. Damages: loss of one minecart, delay in Compound X delivery. Loss of this branch of cargo track expected to create significant additional delays. Recommend switching to new mining location to minimize delays and loss of productivity. No resources available to allocate to track repair or site cleanup at this time. Additional hazards pose: slippage, human bodily fluids, potential decrease in employee morale, visual and olfactory. Additional recommended actions: summon garbage processing officer for waste removal. Shut down mine track associated with the site until such time as repairs can be made. Relocate mining operations to another active site. Increase all mine workers' shifts to maintain current level of productivity. Consider placing cones around wet surfaces. Why do I have the feeling the company probably skimped on the cones? Just a thought. I wasn't sure if there was anything over to the sides or not. Doesn't seem that way. However, there are those. I don't think there's enough down that way to make it worth risking the shot. Also, hello, Di. Glad to have you here. Delete. Okay. Because I really have yet to figure out exactly how I'm supposed to get into one of these facilities. And there's only one place on the map left, one or two places, where I haven't already been. So, Really, I would have thought I'd already searched his apartment, but apparently I haven't. Or at least, not thoroughly enough. Or maybe this is just one of those things that only spawns in after you've talked to a certain person. Oh. Well. Requires code to unlock. Pick up Lucky's case notes. That's what I missed. Day 1. Spacer's Choice may have left in a hurry, but they didn't forget to lock the doors on the way out. Most of the facilities are sealed up tighter than the top runger's safe. Time to do some digging. Day 6. Caught a break today. Met a scavenger who claims to be a salesman for Spacer's Choice. Sold me a key to the Office of Creative Incubation. Let's just say this guy's about as lucid as a sprat in a Rizzo's factory, but I'm spinning Minnie's bit so I can afford to take a chance. Day 7. It worked. Clarence Mosley, whoever you are, I'm drinking to you tonight. Day 10. Olivia Ambrose's office and journal ought to be in the Synthesis and Manufactory Center. The bad news is it's sealed up and at the ass end of the canyon. The good news is I should be able to open it from the Bigwig's admin terminal in OCI. Day 13. OCI is crawling with marauders, and I've got a few other leads to chase down. Could be nothing, but my gut tells me there's more to this place than a missing journal. Time to turn over a few rocks and see what crawls out. I'm leaving the OCI key in the safe. The combo is 4815.
Won't they stick the preservative in before or after the eye comes out?
If I'm not mistaken, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, that eye might be the key Lucky mentioned. What strangeness have we involved ourselves in here?
Yeah, there was a key as a part of that. You know what I think I'm going to do too? I think I'm going to take the time, once I leave the building, stop drawing guns for no reason. I believe that once I'm out of here, I'm going to fast travel What? Hold on. Okay. Huh. Looks like it's meant to be used up here, but I'm not sure about that. Or maybe it's just pointing in the direction.
So, how you feeling? Good.
Okay, it is pointing outside. I was worried that following the marker was going to send me back to Lucky's room for something. But no, this is really meant to be used outside. But as I was saying, I think I'm going to stop briefly by the Unreliable to drop off the...
Following in Lucky's footsteps doesn't result in us sharing his fate.
You think this place we're headed will tell us more about Gorgon? I wonder what they got up to here.
Well, some sort of experiment with adrenatime. That much has been pretty obvious so far. The fact that I've been finding literally dozens of syringes of adrenatime, yeah, that's been about as transparent as a wall that's had a fish sandwich rubbed on it. How appropriate, huh? Chrono-adaptive outfit. You'll be so fast that the bystanders won't even notice that you were the one who shot first. Really appropriate given my character's name, huh? Anyway, that's all I wanted to do on the Unreliable.
Look at those stars. Don't it make you feel small in the best way?
If you would like to board a vessel, please have your emergency departure papers.
Okay. Well, I guess it's off to OCI, which has 2 more special weapons in it. Reminds me, I should have stopped off at a vending machine. But this being a company building, I would lay good odds that it actually has a vending machine inside.
Initiating ocular measurement. Measurement complete. Ocular identification complete. Welcome, Clarence Mosley. Access granted. Welcome to the Office of Creative Incubation.
So, Clarence sold him his own eye? There's a story to that somewhere, I hope.
If we've learned anything in our travels, it's that the fancier the facade, the darker the underbelly.
They got one for Edgewater. Oh, it's just salt tuna. Come on, we got a volcano too.
Spacer's Choice is unreasonably proud of their low-quality fare, aren't they?
Keep your aim steady and your trigger finger at the ready. Adrena time brings out the hero in you.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you take Adrena time.
Proudly located in the bloodstream of the entire Spacer's chosen tossball team. Adrena time, putting the performance in performance-enhancing drugs.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you take Adrena time.
Don't let sleep rob you of your life. Cut your resting hours in half and double your productivity with Adrena time.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you take Adrena time.
Great work. Okay, gone quiet.
Perfect game, and I have a feeling, yep. Unique weapon. Staring at the weapon long enough, you'd swear you can hear the roar of a stadium crowd cheering you on, hungry for more action. Who are you to disappoint your fans? That's just a normal tossball stick, but Hello, Mary. Glad you could come, even if it's just for a little bit, even if it's not for the whole episode. Okay. Oh, poo. Just a typical light machine gun.
That's hands, Captain.
Office of Creative Incubation, the Spacer's Choice property. The best ideas since Please Sliced Bread. Welcome, W. McKay. Messages. From Goodfellow, subject, reception, procedure, and protocol. McKay, after some deliberation, I've decided to update your standard procedure and protocol while you operate the front desk. Commit the following to memory. Do greet visitors and workers with a smile. Do mention Spacer Choice brand products and services in your daily greetings. Do monitor and report extended lavatory breaks. Don't mention our surveillance and security system. Don't talk about the incident. And don't let any auditors into the upper floor under any circumstances. Failure to adhere to number 6 will result in a demerit on your permanent record. I don't mean to be harsh with you, McKay. You're part of our family, too. Regards, Lawrence Goodfellow, Management. Well, unlock the lavatory door. That's sealed. What's behind this one? The lavatory. Good. A cigarette lighter and Spacer's Corona in the toilet. Ew, I'm not going to smoke that. I don't know where it's been. More Adrena time and Ollie Ollie Toxifree. Water and an eco pad. Yeah. One of the toilets or more, at least 2 of the toilets have, well, the pipe up there anyway, have a leaking problem. Tossball card, a ring, a bit cartridge. Some 0G brew. More salt tuna. Yay. That's great. Okay, let's stop at the vending machine and sell that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Okay. There, now I'm not carrying... Now I'm carrying less than 100 kilos of equipment. Spacer's Choice vending machine. Also, let's get rid of at least half of this Adreno. Half of the Adreno and about 255 or 305 of this stuff. Because seriously, 350 plus doses of adrenotime, and most of that was found right here on this planet. That tells you a heck of a lot more about what was going on, doesn't it?
Wish I could do that.
Well, there's the Germinator. Germinators? What the hell, Mark? Generators. But, the control panel to him is dead. Someone was desperate to get in there, or pissed off enough to try to break in anyway, in a here's Johnny sort of way. And the only other direction I can go any place is through this nice and convenient hole in the wall. I don't think I landed a single hit. Though I'm not complaining about my partners picking up the load. Unusable terminal. Okay, what's on this terminal? Welcome, C. Mostly. Messages. To Goodfellow L. Subject on the latest. Results from human inquiry with some additional commentary. Mr. Lawrence Goodfellow, fortuitously I have had the opportunity to review the latest test results from human inquiry. I agree with your and the committee's general assessment that these test results are unacceptable. The latest experimental sample of adrenotime demonstrates a 15 out of 17 possible symptoms in my rubric of dangerous, lethal, or otherwise high-risk side effects. I have sent a full report to your desk, the abstract of which is as follows. Adrenotime in its current state fails to meet this project standards. By my calculations, adrenotime users trade short-term improvements in productivity for long-term losses in productivity, specifically dead workers or unproductive workers. Whenever a calculation produces an unforeseen result, it is prudent to take a look at one's numbers. Incorrect numbers lead to flawed calculations. If the HIA's calculations are sound, then their numbers, that is to say the drugs provided by chem labs, must be flawed. Further analysis on the fundamental problem undermining our operations with additional suggestions. Mr. Goodfellow, I have not yet received your correspondence regarding my previous letter. I can only assume you are still, to deploy a parochial colloquialism, chewing over my commentary. I have several additional insights which I have collated into an itemized list and sent to your secretary. Here's my summary. I believe the root of the problem lies in the chem lab. As mentioned in my previous letter, incorrect numbers lead to flawed calculations. The problem must therefore be found in Dr. Jasper Lowe and his stewardship of the Chem Lab. Dr. Lowe is a notoriously lackadaisical and careless manager, and, pardon my language, a poor scientist. ChemLab must provide HIA with a safe, high-quality, carefully refined drug with which to conduct tests. This slapdash, artless, high-risk formula ChemLab has been delivering to HIA can only result in unacceptable test results. I understand that safety and high-quality development are often antithetical to the corporate strategy of Spacer's Choice, but in my life I have found that the perspective of an outsider can be helpful. Encouraging words on the nature and practice of leadership with additional insights. Your response to my previous 2 letters are conspicuous by their absence. Based on my analysis of your personality type, dietary habits, patterns of speech, and mode of dress, I must conclude with reasonable certainty that your silence stems from anxiety. If I might presume to offer you some advice, cultivated after years of living in Byzantium, may I suggest that your anxiety stems merely from ignorance? Ignorance is the easiest of vices to rectify, and requires only learning and heeding the advice of one's betters. The success and failure of any project depends on the readiness of its constituent staff to perform their mandated duties. Scientists perform experiments. Researchers research. Managers manage. When one of these roles acts outside of its limitations, chaos is introduced into the system. Take heart, you need not fear the burden of management. The secret of good leadership is strong oversight combined with careful, fastidious, numerically driven, and scientifically supported management. The turbulence experienced by this project is emphatically not the fault of the OCI. However, it is the role and duty of the OCI to fix these problems. Ours is the only department capable of righting the ship of innovation in the waters of chaos. Well, not as insightful as I thought, except to confirm that the problems all stemmed with whatever was coming out of the Chem Lab. From OCI Cerebral Committee. The OCI has hereby decided by unanimous vote that the test results from HIA are unacceptable, untenable, and unsatisfactory. This message is an informal expression of our dissatisfaction, which will be formally declared by memorandum in the near future. While the committee recognizes the marketing potential of insomnia and chemical dependency, really, that has marketing potential, the remaining side effects described in the latest report are incompatible with our vision of the Adrenatime product. Corporate auditors will expect to see a product that dramatically improves the long-term productivity of Spacer's Choice workers by reducing the need for rest and mitigating the effects of long-term melancholia. The product delivered to HIA induces psychosis, violent behavior, paranoia, and, alarmingly, disobedience. The OCI cannot accept a product that transforms long-term users into dissidents. The damage to our corporate image will inevitably benefit our rivals at Auntie Cleo. From Goodfellow to OCI Cerebral Committee. I share your concerns but not your alarm. In times like these, I encourage you to recall a passage from our Spacer's Choice user manual. The failures of subordinates must never become the failures of leadership. Scum, Chapter 21, Article XIV. The meaning is simplicity itself. HIA has failed to deliver acceptable results because they have failed to perform their professional obligations. My esteemed colleagues, you and I possess a number of law-given qualifications, but we have not been relegated to lab coat work. Let me reiterate, we are not test tube jockeys, we are leaders. HIA's purpose is to deliver test results. Our purpose is to deliver a quarterly report. I'd like you to reach out to Miriam Kumara at Strategic Branding. Have her team clean up HIA's report. Trim the fat and tuck in its guts. Make it look presentable for our auditors. From Kumara M. to Cerebral Committee. My team and I have finished reviewing HIA's latest experimental report. We believe the failure of this report is manifest in its flagrant disregard for company-approved language. To that end, we have drafted a revised report edited with language consistent with the Spacer's Choice company vision. We propose the following connotative revisions. Instead of dangerous side effects, we call them exciting collateral benefits. Instead of paranoia, we call it dramatically heightened attention. In place of violent confusion, we replace that with physically assertive behavior. In place of chemical dependence, we replace that with metabolic compatibility. In As far as dissident adjacent behavior, any mention of dissident behavior in this report may encourage dissidence. Recommend cutting this phrase entirely out of respect for our readers. Or in more appropriate language, cover it up.
Don't mess with us.
I got in the first shot. They followed her around the corner into the bathroom. Pre-sliced bread. Lots of pre-sliced bread.
Ugh. Ain't no one should have to go like that.
This looks exceedingly painful. That's the last of them.
Yeah, I actually finished her. I actually finished both hers and Ellie's in the last stream. Boy, I cannot words today, can I? Inebriation procedure and protocol. Feeling lethargic after a long day of creative incubation? Having trouble shooting down the bird of inspiration? Let Spacer's Choice help you steady your aim. A selection of company-approved libations are available for purchase. All purchases will be deducted from your pay. Medicate your creative paralysis with Spacer's Choice 0G Brew. Official slogan to be determined. Personnel files. Open the last entry. Visitor logs. Campos Lavinia, trouble deciding on a font for new department letterhead. Ordered 10G Brew. Wyatt Lewis wrote 12 good words today, but can't figure out what order they should be in. Gosh, sounds like my mouth today. Ordered 30G Brew. North Deacon, brainstorming ideas for a new flavor of Saltuna. Ordered 10G Brew. Campos Lavinia, still having trouble deciding on a font. Ordered 30G Brew.
Make quite a team, my friend. I have your back, Captain.
Well, they did say this area was crawling with marauders, and I have a feeling that's going to be the case in any of the Spacer's Choice buildings we go in. Courtesy of Adrena Time.
I'm ready for this.
Down they go!
I still have a feeling that I'm going to find...
Oh, wow. I think this screen's taller than my entire shop back home.
I still think I'm going to find some sort of maintenance... some sort of maintenance card here so I can get through that other locked door that's down there.
About your test subjects, I assume you're trying new formulations on humans, correct? Where do they come from, Dr. Ambrose? They come from Tartarus, don't they?
They do.
Why the reluctance? Providing life-affirming employment to the indigent, the criminally indigent? Well, that's a social good, don't you agree?
I have a staff meeting to attend. Excuse me.
Well, that was awfully evasive of her. And you notice that since I sold off more than 300 doses of Adrena Time, I found 34 more.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you
Yeah, maintenance room. Maintenance room key. Optional if you have a lock-picking skill of 150. If I had bothered to check the achievements, I would have known there was an achievement for raising a skill to 100. And that's not counting the bonuses from your partners. Okay. Somewhere around here there are going to be auditorium terminal access. Security notice. By order of Lawrence Goodfellow, auditorium projector room must remain sealed until further notice. Please answer any inquiries by visiting auditors with the following pre-approved message. Mr. Goodfellow is excited to inform you that our projector room is undergoing upgrades in preparation for our grand quarterly report presentation. We thank you for your patience. Please return to the reception desk and request a complimentary bottle of Zero-G Brew. Memos on auditing. If you are reading this memo, you are the designated concierge of this auditorium. Please commit the following message to your memory when guiding auditors along a tour of our office. What is an auditorium? Spacer's Choice Manual of Definitions describes an auditorium as a place where auditing takes place. Here you will enjoy all the familiar low-cost, budget-friendly amenities that make Spacer's Choice the leading brand in affordable entertainment. Satisfy your posture in our semi-reclining chairs. Enjoy a moderately cold bottle of Zero-G Brew. Relax as you enjoy this special presentation of the Project Gorgon Quarterly Review brought to you by the Office of Creative Incubation. No report this quarter. Everyone, I'm going to be blunt because I want you to understand the gravity of this situation. Someone, or several someones, sabotaged our quarterly reports. They're all gone. Irretrievably damaged. The Cerebral Committee's putting their heads together to come up with a solution. We hope to have one before the auditors arrive. In the meantime, here's what I need you all to do. Do not, under any circumstances, talk about the sabotage to anyone outside our office. We need to soften the language. Studies show that repeated use of the word sabotage can incite sabotage in people who lack moral fiber. I'm not taking any chances. I need you all to come up with an alternate way of describing the sabotage. Something like the incident, but not so obvious. Subject: Ray, no report this quarter. We've received all your suggestions. After much deliberation, the Cerebral Committee has unanimously voted to refer to the sabotage incident as the incident. Jeez. And then, yeah, and that's where I came in. So, back here. Damn it, where is that maintenance room key? I kind of need it before I can go any further. Has to be something around this way. Ah, there's the stairs up. Lower tree, huh?
hands.
Don't mess with us.
Well, at least he's in the appropriate place to die. And we are on floor 4.
Trouble incoming, Captain. That's the last of them.
Looks like one of the executive rooms. Aged whiskey, purple berry wine, some perfecto, whatever that is. Meeting minutes. The meeting began with a traditional recitation of a passage from the Spacer's Choice user manual, the scum, followed by regulation roll call. Every member of the Cerebral Committee was present. A motion to implement the revised guidelines on linguistic cleanliness in company-approved languages was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. A motion to award Miriam Kumara and Lawrence Goodfellow with commendations on their permanent record was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. A motion to file a demerit on the permanent records of Dr. Jasper Lowe and Dr. Marion Blakesley was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. A motion to redact any record of derelict employees, missing employees, employee desertion, or incidents of workplace violence from official company documents was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. A motion to dismiss the meeting early was brought to the table by Lawrence Goodfellow in the spirit of conviviality and good humor. The motion was likewise passed unanimously. The Cerebral Committee adjourned for 0G and cigarettes. Congratulations, we've successfully covered it up by pretending it didn't happen. Now let's have a smoke, basically. Why no, that's not ghoulish at all. Let's keep a fake hand on the table so you can...
Perhaps they should spend more time improving their products and less pampering themselves like this.
Well, you're not going to get any argument from me. More perfecto. Flurry. That one is definitely a unique weapon. Makes the worst winter storm look like a light drizzle. The longer it rages, the faster this weapon will bury your foes. It's basically, I'm imagining a heavy machine gun with a speedy mate and a magnum. Okay, got all of that.
Halt. Sweeping the area.
Here we go! Don't mess with us!
Archives. Memo 312. Herbie, take a memo. Actually, hang on. Let me get a cigarette. Alright, take a memo. I want to personally walk down to HIA and wrap my hands around the necks of every single excuse of a researcher whose indenturement contracts we were stupid enough to sign. Who signed those anyway? Were they drunk at the time? Why are we hiring researchers who can't deliver the test results we want? Am I crazy? Is this an unreasonable expectation? Is supply and demand a foreign concept to these people? When I request a zero-G brew, I expect a moderately cold glass of something reasonably alcoholic in my hand, slapped with a Spacer's Choice brand. When I request test results, I expect to see scientifically proven, medically verified evidence that adrenatime is a miracle drug. I didn't ask for a long list of dangerous side effects, I asked for adjectives. I can't turn high rate of violent confusion into marketing copy, Herbie. What am I supposed to do if side effects include paranoia and suicide? HIA just screwed us with their pants on. The Cerebral Committee is losing their collective mind. Now I need to go pat them all on the shoulder and wipe away their sad little tears and tell them everything's going to be alright. Why are you still typing? Don't put that down. I was just rambling. Memo 313. Herbie, take a memo. I'm getting real sick of Clarence Mosley. Remind me again why we brought him on this project? He's not part of the Spacer's Choice family. He's never been a part of the Spacer's Choice family. The Mosleys, what do they do again? Oh yeah, they peddle furniture. I'm a manager at Halcyon's most recognizable brand name in affordable goods and services. I don't need management advice from some guy whose family designed my footstools. Actuaries should stick to actuarial work. Don't go advising me to turn the screw on Jasper Law and those lab coats at Kim. I know what I'm doing. Hang on, I need a cigarette. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, take a memo. We need to turn the screw on Jasper Lowe and those lab coats at Kim. I want you to draft up an official order. Tell Kim, hang on, let me think. Yeah, tell Kim they need to fire 1 in 10 researchers and we're slashing their deadlines in half. It's a Roman solution. We could learn a lot from them, the Romans. They pretty much invented discipline. Memo 314. For inaudible sake, all our quarterly reports, all of them, gone. Hard copies, terminal data, it's all gone. What kind of a sick, degenerate mind destroys quarterly reports? We've got a surprise audit scheduled. What am I supposed to show the auditors? I need to send a message down to the receptionist. No auditors allowed. And I need to talk to the committee immediately. Why are you typing, Herbie? I didn't ask you to take a memo. Delete this. Hey, are you listening? Oh, right. Same thing that I've already read. Okay, so let's check out this terminal, since that seems to be where it wants me to go. Unlock the elevator. Admin functions. Unlock Synthesis and Manufactory Center. Override the Manufactory Center lockdown. Human Inquiry and Auditing. Synthesis and Manufactory Center is currently locked. Executive lockdown must be overridden at Chem Lab or Human Inquiry and Auditing. Incoming messages from Ambrose on Seize All Recordings. Bring them to me immediately and don't let the journalists off the asteroid. From Ambrose to Goodfellow regarding the production schedule. Do you think you can hide from me, you little twerp? I know a serum that'll make you feel as if you've lived 1,000 years in just 8 hours. How would you like to spend the night in waste processing? From Ambrose regarding the Toxifree rebranding. Change the name, Lawrence. I don't care if the inbred simpletons at headquarters are just having a laugh. Customers don't know what it means. You may choose from this list of acceptable alternatives. Absorbitol, Calatamax, Benditron, and Medicine. Cheers, Ollie. Return to messages, outgoing messages. If you are receiving this message, I am currently unavailable. In my absence, I have instructed my secretary to reply to any incoming messages with this pre-approved response. Vicariously, Lawrence. Dr. Ambrose, great timing. I was just sending Herbie over to your department with a preliminary production schedule. As with so much of the work we do at the OCI, the design of a production schedule is more of an art than a science. The timetables and milestones are less contractual obligation and more aspirational cartography. Respectfully, Lawrence. Archived messages from Ambrose radio documentary. Lawrence, this is a waste of my time. The last thing my team needs is a fleet of gadflies sitting on the labs and asking stupid questions. We're months behind as it is. However, because Lucian demanded it, I will consider the program's request if the following conditions are met. Lucian guarantees me the right to review and approve the recordings. The journalists are confined to Gorgon for the duration of the project. It could be years. Make sure they understand that. If they leak the details of our work to the press, I will put a hit out on them myself. I know people, Lawrence. The journalists bunk in shipping and receiving. We can't have them fraternizing with the project staff outside of their scheduled interviews. These people are our enemies, not our friends. No one will be coming down with an acute case of friendship on my watch. My team will not be held responsible for the inevitable delays this tomfoolery will cause. The only individual who will be working overtime on this is you. Understood?
I knew I heard a little weasel sniffing about. You'd best go back the way you came. There's nothing for you here.
Whatever this is about, no, I don't respond to threats.
I understand that you think yourself a big hero here on a big, important job. The last one did too. But you've grossly misapprehended the situation here. This place is a graveyard. All that was done here should be forgotten and left to rot.
I don't care about your musty old secrets.
You might, when they start shooting at you. Gorgon is the birthplace of marauders. We created them here, in this very facility. They are our misbegotten children, born of hubris and vanity.
This whole colony is a result of those two things. But marauders? Spacer's Choice really outdid themselves, didn't they?
That don't make any sense. How could marauders get to Edgewater from all the way out here?
They hold no fondness for trespassers. I've placed the facility under emergency lockdown to keep them safe. Let the marauders die in peace, or I will make certain that you die with them.
We were hired to find a journal. Marauders aren't our
At
problem.
least not until they're gnawing on our faces.
My friends and neighbors became marauders, Captain. They hurt a lot of folks, and Edgewater still ain't the same. If this place caused that, I want to know.
Doesn't change what we're here to do. We need that journal. The schedule you sent me must be a template or the work of an intern because it's patently insane. We're nowhere near to hitting Lucian's proposed milestones. Branding's hopes and wishes won't magically change that, no matter what the corporate office says. My compound is months from viable, Lawrence. It kills people. If you'd like proof, you're welcome to try it yourself. I'll even show you where to stick it. I expect to see a revised schedule before the week is out. I've seen the brand manager sniffing about, Lawrence. I know your department is gearing up for a big announcement, and mine is the only project on this asteroid. Send me your intended production and release schedule immediately. Yeah. Well, we knew something was up, and the threatening messages is just proof. Okay, so that quest doesn't continue here. And that quest is over here. Well, when we leave, we can fast travel over there and look there. But I still want to know where that maintenance card is. Okay. Well, now I know. And knowing is half the battle. First off, I need to get out of here. Secondly, go to the Sprat Shack.
Don't you worry, Mr. Lucky Spirit. We're gonna finish your work and put you to rest good and proper.
Well, let's just hope we're luckier than Lucky was.
Go into the Sprat Shack and have a little talk with Lex the bartender about that key. Turns out the key I was looking for, she had it because Lucky traded it to pay his bar tab.
Pace yourself. Spacer's Choice used to brew, they say. You got it, Buck. Come back when you're 30.
Who do you work for anyway? Anti-fleet? Marry the Sprat.
Exterminator service.
Okay, keep him quiet.
What was that? Hey! You! Huh.
Not so fast!
Huh. Guess I'm getting paranoid.
Here they come!
Okay, might be better if I went back and loaded my quick save, wouldn't it?
Keep quiet.
Bloody people. Fine.
No one's coming.
Well, there's supposed to be a note around here telling me about the key. Wow. Okay. Okay, those two are locked and stay locked. So I should be able to talk to her. And throw my weight around a bit and get that key off of her. Or just buy it off of her.
No, the drinks aren't. Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge. Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential. Yes and no. Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea.
Dare I ask why a Sprat owns this bar?
See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat. If there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
Most businesses in Halcyon are run by Sprats, but this is the first I've heard of it being openly acknowledged.
You think a Sprat could own Edgewater? Oh. Imagine one wearing Mr. Thompson's little hat.
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules.
How would you even know which Sprat is the right one?
His name's Matt. The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Sprat apart from an ordinary vermin. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase.
What happens if Ethel Gabler turns them into Spratwurst?
I never thought about that. Shit, someone could have eaten my boss. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters.
Couldn't you answer any question without starting with yes and no?
Yes. And no. Again, that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place.
How do you get supplies in and out?
People come and go from all over the colony. Mostly on the way to somewhere better. Some are well-connected. And not everyone pays with bits. That's how we get the unconventional goods anyhow. Sublight keeps us well-stocked with the essentials, by which I mean booze. Spacer's Choice used to...
Any idea why Spacer's Choice shut Gorgon down?
Anyone knows the full story. One day the evacuation order went out. Grunts and lab coats scrambled to get anywhere but Gorgon. And the weirdest thing of all, Adrenatime still hit the market. Me, I never touch the stuff. Each their own, but I think it's dangerous.
Salvagers must be making a fortune.
Right we are. We've got drugs, scrap metal, prototype weapons, drugs, money, and more drugs. When Spacer's Choice evacuated, everyone dropped their gear and ran. Most of it stayed where it fell, and all of it is up for grabs. Of course, the real treasure is whatever's locked up in the old facility. Until someone figures a way to crack it open. We're just sifting through dirt.
Would any of them have more information?
Roscoe might tell you more. He spent some time around here before the bar opened up. I trust him well enough. There's always Leonora, my favorite customer over in the storage room on the second floor. Keeps to herself and always closes out her tab.
Thanks for the tip.
What are friends for, eh? You got it, bub. Good.
Well, poop. Because I kind of wanted that key. Don't know why. And yeah, it kind of is. Matter of fact, I could almost go as far as to say it was probably inspired by by Serenity. Of course, I could be. Of course, I'm probably wrong about that, but I don't know. I'd have to look at the release date. You know, it kind of reminds me of the debate about Star Trek Voyager versus, or not Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Deep Space Nine versus Babylon 5, and people were all like, and people were all like, Babylon 5 was stolen. The idea for Babylon 5 was stolen from Voyager, and I'm like, no. Check the release dates. Babylon 5 came out first. Voyager stole the idea of the space station from Babylon 5. Well, I guess I'll forego that key. Can't be anything that interesting in the maintenance room. Because otherwise it'd be marked. Otherwise there'd be something on my map about it.
Gonna find you. Watch out! Kill.
Yes, DS9.
Woo! We made it.
The engraving reads, Jerome, cheers to the beginning of forever. Love, Leonora. It smells decent whiskey, cheap cologne, and old cigarettes. And how the heck did I manage to miss that last time I was in this area?
You find anything out there, you let me know. I'm ready to get off this rock.
I found your husband's flask.
That's it, all right. Law. Still smells like his whiskey, his cigarettes, and that awful cologne he bathed in every morning. Here. I saved up for this, just in case I needed to go out into the ruins myself. Truth be told, I'm glad I never had to use it. You didn't happen to find anything else out there, did you?
I found his journal. He went mad after the evacuation and became a marauder. What I found doesn't matter. Gorgon is the past. You should look to the future.
Sound like Jerome. And if he was here, I'd tell him he sounds like a damn advertisement. But that's comforting in a way. Thank you for the flask. Jerome and I were supposed to live and die together, but sometimes fate has other plans. Time for me to get off this rock. Memories hang around here like a bad smell, and I could use some fresh air.
This is what he wanted. Go live your life.
That was a real kind thing you did, Captain. Maybe not what I would have wanted, but it looks to be what she needed.
It may seem kinder to not burden people with the complete truth, Captain. but I do not believe that is truly the case.
Okay, and now back out again and on with... Well, I've got to go to HIA and the Chem Lab anyway, so... And they are talking about some sort of Babylon 5 renewal. And I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that, but let's see. Mostly because I've been careful not to read the reports. I don't want to end up horribly disappointed. There's the Chem Lab.
This facility is currently experiencing a heightened security event. Accessing this facility requires voice-modulated passphrase. Please speak the passphrase.
Oh, great. And to top that off, we have hostiles now. Yay, fantastic.
Here we go.
Well, at least it took me back to where I needed to be. Because you can't get directly to that building from here. How about the other way, Mark? Well, in order to get up there, I have to get through these fields to the elevator. But I can't. But in order to go in the other place, I need a voice-operated passcode, which I don't have. This isn't going well. Oh, wait. Guess I'm going to have to continue the main quest just a little bit further before I do that one. Locate facility staff. One result found, mostly Clarence, location Byzantium Musgrave Collection. Thank you for your diligent commitment to personal tracking and surveillance. Oh, goody. Well then. Who would have guessed I would have had to go to another location and then come back to this one?
Captain, transmission request from Ambrose Manor.
I'm guessing Minnie wants an update.
Captain, imagine my surprise when I saw the Unreliable leaving Gorgon with so much urgency and purpose. Tell me you found Mother's journal. I'm positively dying for good news.
Someone warned me to stay away from Gorgon, then locked the place down.
You mean someone still has access to the facility? Oh, after all this time. Who was it?
Someone with an old grudge would be my... You tell me.
I don't even know who's still alive from Project Gorgon, much less who would care enough to guard its secrets. Make sure you have eyes on the back of your head. I doubt we've seen the last of this human vexation. If I know Spacer's choice, getting past the lockdown will be more complicated than just hitting a big red button. You'll need authorization and layers of it.
Are you familiar with Gorgon's old research staff?
I seem to recall that Mother worked closely with Gorgon's R&D personnel, but not close enough to invite them over for dinner and cocktails, if you get my meaning. By now, they'll have moved on with their lives. If only I could do the same.
Did you know that Gorgon was developing adrenatime?
I knew Mother was involved with some important chemical trials, but I had no idea her pet project was adrenatime. Adrenatime is a working man's stimulant, like a caffeinoid, very popular at launch, though the marketing quieted down over time.
Were you aware that adrenatime created marauders?
No. I mean, there's some very morbid wording in the fine print, but I had no idea adrenatime could make marauders out of people. That's it. That must be it. Spacer's Choice is keeping their dirty little secret about adrenatime off the record. We have to find Mother's journal. If we don't, then Spacer's Choice gets away with murder. I only hope we aren't too late.
Why would Spacer's Choice risk everything for a stimulant?
Adrenatime was touted as the working man's best friend. A drug that boosted productivity with no adverse effects. The promise of adrenatime cannot be overstated. Exhaustion and fatigue were supposed to be obsolete. Workplace accidents would be things of the past. For whatever reason, the drug never lived up to that promise.
Could one drug really do all of that?
And thanks to Spacer's Choice, we may never find out. I know that I'd like to see a colony where the promise of adrenatime was fulfilled. And I doubt I'm the only one.
I'm heading back out. You really know your business, Minnie.
I certainly ought to know what I'm doing. I spent years trying to break into pharmaceuticals, professionally speaking. Mother wouldn't hear of it. She didn't think I had the wit to succeed in her line of work. Safe travels. If your leads give you any trouble, be sure and give them some trouble back, yes?
I'll keep that in mind. Be seeing you, Minnie. Okay, now out to Byzantium to go to this museum that apparently has the remains of this guy, or whatever it is, where they're keeping everything except his eyeball, because I've got that. And isn't that just a little bit morbid? Ah, the long elevator wait. Always seems much longer when you're waiting for the elevator than when you're on the elevator, doesn't it? Come on, come on, come on. In hindsight, I probably could have fast traveled pretty close to it.
If I
As
spit,
it real bellowhead, feeling a little off balance? You'll never know.
Your best find this week. Go.
How are you feeling, Mr. Vicker? After your, hallucinations?
Fantastic. But it must be said that the sensation of myself as a separate mind inside a bag of skin was the real hallucination.
You must be... Wow.
Wow, indeed. It's quite liberating to realize that one is simply an aperture through which the universe experiences itself, and that all my pain and suffering was of my own creation.
So if Felix snuck into your quarters one night and stole half your underwear and filled the other half with itching powder, you'd kindly thank the universe and take it in stride? Not that I'm asking for any particular reason.
I want to hear his answer to that one. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like I'm going to get it.
Welcome to the Musgrave Family Collection. Still a work in progress. I'll tell you what I've told all the If you're here for the annual Canid review, I'm afraid it's already over. Only thing going on behind those doors is good, old-fashioned lawful behavior. This greeting constitutes your confidentiality agreement. You hereby agree not to disclose the location or existence of these events. Thank you for cooperating.
Canid review? I don't know anything about a Canid review.
You do catch on fast. Now then, how can I help you?
I'm looking for Clarence Mosley.
Mr. Mosley is indeed attending our event, although I am disappointed to discover he did not officially enter his Canid Laplace into our competition. You should find Mr. Mosley just inside the prep room. Head inside and take the door to your left.
Excuse me.
Good, we're in.
Oh, just hear me out. It's a brilliant idea.
Is this about Canid?
Well, if it's not marked as
It's
stealing...
the natural evolution of Canid shows. No one's going to miss a few backwater laborers anyway.
Just between the two of us, I hope this doesn't become a tradition. Not looking forward to the next annual Canid review? Not looking forward to the Canids. Odious things. I don't know why we let them prance around the city.
Good grief. All this stuff just sitting there, free for the taking. It's like, hi, can I take your pitcher? And your bottle? And your cigarettes? And your lighter? Thanks!
Do you know what I'd like to say?
Do you know the interesting thing about canid shows?
Trick question. There isn't anything No, but I have a feeling you're about to tell me anyway.
Good instincts. Mathematically speaking, the interesting thing about canid shows is this. They're an exercise in futility. Winning is predetermined. Over time, the inevitable trend is that the race goes to the swift. Time and chance are just statistical outliers. In other words, if you put enough canids through enough trials, the one with the most optimal attributes generally wins. Exercise in futility.
Are you Clarence Mosley?
What gave me away? Wait, don't tell me. You've read my monograph, Putting the Us in Calculus, or How to Use Mathematics to Find Your Statistically Significant Other.
Or the fact that I have your eye.
I don't really do autographs, but yes, I am Clarence Mosley.
That name sounds familiar. Mostly Fine Furniture Company,
Yes,
right?
That's us. Mostly oak trees, too. My grandfather invented them, you know. Well, no, he didn't invent mostly oaks, but he did purchase the naming rights back during the terraforming days. It's essentially the same thing.
I've been looking for you. You're the last known staff member on Project Gorgon.
Then you're not here about my monograph. It's true, I was involved with Project Gorgon, but that chapter of my life is long since closed. Listen, I don't know what you want with Gorgon or with me, but let me give you some free advice. Let the past go. Live in the moment. Enjoy the party.
You're a bit late. Some mysterious figure already sent me cryptic warnings.
Let me hazard a guess. You didn't listen then, and you're not about to listen now.
This person activated some kind of emergency lockdown. Any idea who they might be?
Someone with resources. Security countermeasures require a special override. Whoever locked down the facilities must have been watching you. Lifting the lockdown won't be easy. You'll need to send overrides from the chem lab and human inquiry. I don't have that level of clearance, but I know two people who do. The trouble is, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I washed my hands of Gorgon, and you're asking me to dirty them all over again. I'm going to need a good reason.
I was hired, let's see, I was hired to find a journal. I'm just trying to do my job.
Why are you going through all of this trouble for a journal? Actually, don't tell me. I'd like to maintain plausible deniability. I want a favor from you. Do something for me, and I'll do something for you. That way, we don't have to rely on mutual trust. The grand prize trophy to the Canid Review. I want it in my hands. Get me that trophy, and I'll give you the remaining researchers. Names, locations, as much information as I have.
I'm pretty sure the Canid review is already over.
But the winner is still in deliberation. Committee won't deliver a result for another 6 to 8 weeks. Bureaucracy. The trophy's being held in a vault at the other end of this hall. Find a way inside, disable any security, lift, carry, deliver. Simple as that.
What's so important about a trophy?
My Canid, Laplace, is statistically superior to every other Canid in this review. Better average sprinting time, superior gait coefficient, optimal anatomical symmetry. I didn't bother entering little Laplace in this pointless contest. He's already won on paper, you see. That trophy rightfully belongs to him.
That might be the most Byzantium thing I've ever heard.
Oh, you're much too kind. Does this mean you'll do it?
I'll be back with that trophy.
Into the main hall and take the elevator down into the maintenance tunnels. You'll find a service passage that leads up into the trophy room. The maintenance tunnel is the only way up into the trophy room. Some technician barred the door shut on our end. Ask Tilda Coatsworth about it, over by the podium.
Wait here.
It's not
canid hunting I object to. Even for fun.
Halt. Performing an area sweep now. Clinics beginning.
Get ready. Can't get past that armor.
That'll work, Captain. That's the last of them.
Completed. Scheduled annual sanitation and repair, Musgrave Family Vault. Applied Kinda Pine scented floor wax. Appraised area in accordance with Byzantium aesthetic standards. Relocated garbage. Installed anti-dissident auto mechanicals in order to ensure moral and civil hygiene. 4A. Note. Tampering with, altering, or otherwise disabling moral hygiene auto mechanicals is strictly prohibited under board regulations. Delivered complimentary mint.
Handled beautifully.
And the mag pick.
Nicely done.
These dead canids show signs of domestication and extensive grooming. And there is improved silver tongue kit, Mr. N, a champion tossball stick, improved tech kit, augmented reinforcement, a safe,
As always. If there's one thing I've learned traveling with you, it's that theft is but a state of mind.
You don't have to be scared of these canids, Captain. I don't think they're gonna hurt you.
Never cared much for hors d'oeuvres. The word is just grotesque. All those superfluous letters ruin my appetite.
I found dead canids in the service tunnels. You know anything about that?
Canids in the service tunnels. Domesticated canids? Why, that's utterly revolting.
I'm pretty sure they were domesticated.
Frankly, it doesn't matter to me if they were domesticated or feral. Feral canids are like the unemployed. Their existence implies the need for a loving master. Every canid, regardless of their physical attributes, is a companion to their master. To kill a companion is a profound and unforgivable breach of trust. I'm glad I chose not to participate in this loathsome canid review. I will, however, take their trophy.
Okay, and I took everything else.
My eye! I was wondering where I'd misplaced that old thing. It's perfectly preserved, you know. Every eye possesses unique dimensions, not unlike a fingerprint. The circumference, the shape, the color of the iris. An eye makes excellent proof of identification, assuming you don't mind removing one.
So how'd you lose your eye?
I'd rather not get into the details. If Spacer's Choice ever asks you to test out their new model of monocle, just say no.
Here, take your eye back.
Well, that's rather responsible of you. I'll put a good word in your permanent record. What's on your...
Today's your lucky day. I've got your trophy.
Trophy! Look at this thing. Have you ever seen a more garish monument to the boredom of the elite? If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy right in front of his cataracts. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Competent work is, well, a statistical anomaly.
I kept my end of the bargain. I expect you to keep yours.
Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from 2 senior-level researchers. Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error.
You use statistical analysis to figure out their location? Show me your math.
I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a Spacer's Choice worker, that sort of thing. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the 2 most likely survivors are Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe.
You haven't been able to let go of Project Gorgon either.
I just needed a good old-fashioned statistical problem to busy my mind. Keeps the faculties lubricated.
You talk about leaving the past behind, but you still feel responsible.
Stop you there. I don't accept anything for free. And if you're going to analyze me, I'd have to go through the trouble of hiring you on contract. Think what you will of my intentions, my calculations are sound. You'll find Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe at the enclosed locations.
I've got some questions about these 2.
I
What do I need to know about
Dr.
Marion?
Marion Blakesley supervised the Human Inquiry and Auditing Facility. Live subjects, measuring tape and syringes, that sort of thing. Someone sabotaged the facility. Blakesley tendered her resignation and vanished. I'm reasonably certain she's hiding in a maintenance bay on Groundbreaker.
Are you sure it was sabotage?
Well, with Spacer's Choice equipment, who even knows? Dr. Blakesley tendered her resignation lawfully, but under suspicious circumstances. If you want to know more, you'd best ask her yourself.
What about this Jasper Lowe guy?
Dr. Lowe described himself as a dazzling genius in his review. I disagreed. Of the 19 criteria that constitute the rubric of genius, Dr. Lowe only met 15. After the project shut down, corporate traded him off to Auntie Cleo in exchange for 5 lab coats. He's been transferred to an orbital lab around Olympus.
You don't think much of this Jasper Lowe
Our
guy.
office gave Dr. Lowe and his team every opportunity to develop a drug under perfectly reasonable guidelines and generous deadlines. Dr. Lowe failed to meet our requests and largely succeeded in using our supply of drugs to get himself higher than the mortality rate of a line worker at a Saltuna cannery.
Wow. That's all I need
Try
to
to
know.
exercise caution. It's good for your lifespan.
Take care. Nope, I actually have to leave the place first. Surprise, surprise.
Come now, Anubis, you must...
Wait. Okay, Mary. Well, at least the exit's up here. And I can jump straight back to the unreliable. And we know that one scientist is supposed to be on... Hold on. Transfer. There. Transfer those.
So then I told him, oh, ha ha ha, that tickles. How odd.
The auxiliary maintenance bay of the groundbreaker.
The groundbreaker auxiliary bay.
Welcome back, Mary. Well, I have the feeling this won't be easy, considering it talks about stay out and danger.
For some reason, I'm not expecting a warm welcome here. Hey you, over here. It's Chad.
Whoa, 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 it's Riz. Fucking damn it. Every time. So, hey, you trespass, and I'm armed. Maybe take a second look at your life choices, pal.
Hang on, what were you starting to say back there?
Never mind.
Does Rizzo's know you're butchering their slogan?
Gonna report me? I don't work for them no more. I'm with the gardeners now. All of us kept the peace for the corpse once, but we got tired of being used.
The gardeners?
Yeah, we're the gardeners. We keep order back here on these dangerous streets. Hallways. You know what I mean. Anyway, Blakesley's given us standing orders to strongly discourage anyone who tries to come in. I like to, extrapolate from there.
Does Junlei know you're down here?
We ain't subversives. We're gainfully employed. This is a private contract. Miss Junlei can't get too mad if we rough up some trespassers. Especially if I was nice enough to warn him first.
But she might get a little steamed if you hurt her girlfriend.
Hi, I'm the girlfriend.
Oh, shit. Fine, fine. You want to check out the lab? Go for it. We won't stop you. But Blakesley's got her own setup in there, and she doesn't like guests. So, if you get shot, I'm telling Junlei I never saw you. This one's clear, guys.
Nice one, Captain. It's like I don't know what to do with myself.
Come on, this is great. We don't have to be a big for them.
I want to set you up some expensive for you. That's a good boy.
Happy for me.
Here is your weekly shipment. Please note the additional allotment of protein cakes. Could I convince you and your colleagues to fill out a brief questionnaire regarding your eating patterns? In the meantime, do try to cut down on all the sugary drinks. I love the name of that one. To the local idiots.
This must be a step up from the force factories, huh?
Doesn't look like either of us are sitting pretty.
Pink slip, Gregory Tipton. These official termination papers, stamped with the C and P logo, state that Gregory Tipton has been terminated for undue hindrance of a Byzantium official.
Come on, you two. We're all gardeners here.
You gonna shoot or what? Just wait. You'll see how a Spacer's Choice cadet takes care of, I think it's jammed.
Wow. Impressive.
Alright, well, I'm not stealing anything here from, well, any of that, because they're looking right at it, so... I could probably get away with sneaking off with some of this stuff, but really? Do I really need the credits?
You have to be kidding me. I thought I made myself clear. Wait, what's with this camera? Hello? Damn it. Look, I get it. Some people need things spelled out for them. I'm sure one of the auto mechanicals can explain.
The thing that makes this one especially interesting is that you're not all confined to one planet like you were with the murder on...
The Mantiquin could grow from something like this. Nature is truly wondrous, is it not?
Group C, heretofore referred to as Clarice, continues to demonstrate increased growth and development relative to both the original and control strains. However, general mass and caloric content has not increased significantly compared to its predecessor, Horus. This success suggests a limit in our ability to mitigate poor nutrient uptake with mantipillar mulch. Personal note, Martin's getting a little big for the terrarium. A few more days and he goes into the processor. Okay, let's find out what's up here. Maintenance logs. Entry 1. Memory allocations exceeded, archive data expunged, retrieving recent entries. 1325. Water supply remains steady, but the power fluctuations are doing a number on the auto mechanicals. Easy fix, all the time in the world. 1326. Gutted the auto mechanicals for non-essential components. Minor gains in power efficiency due to decreased weight. Waterproofing materials compromised. Human error. Okay, well, we've...
System alert.
Oh, really? So we can't get in this way, which means we basically have no choice.
Observation log, date, who knows. Subject number, well, let's call him Percy. Percy here has discovered the secret to success. He has lifted the veil and found the pattern. He wakes up, he listens for that bell 3 times a day. Food lands from the sky. He eats, he waits. Life is easy. But the second your molt comes in, pal,
Great work.
Of course it was. Maintenance logs. Entry 1. Entry 733. Entry 943. Note that entries 734 to 942 have all been mislabeled as 733 due to human error resulting in loss of all keys stuck this damn machine. Yeah, I've had that exact same problem before where one particular key basically gets stuck. Okay. Well, it's either the hole or the elevator.
Processing.
Here they come!
Everyone all right?
Ah, so this is where the elevator comes out, down here in her generator room, basically.
There's something going on inside there.
Nah, you think?
Easy.
So who the fuck? Oh, wait, hang on. I can't hear a damn thing. Just gonna shut this thing off. Right. Marion Blakesley, what can I do for you, Mr. Home Invasion?
I need to get into the HIA facility on Gorgon.
Spacer's Choice send you? Took your sweet time. Gorgon? I holed up in a forgotten cargo bay of a rotting colony ship just so I could never hear that name again. But here you are.
I tracked down Clarence Mosley. That got me onto
That
your trail.
bastard. Is he still only mostly worthless, or has he achieved mathematical perfection in that regard?
He's in show canids now, sort of.
He'll be on to the next hobby in a week. Clarence lacks the attention span for this sort of thing. Someone wants to dig up the past, and you're the shovel, right?
Wilhelmina Ambrose hired me to find something on that asteroid.
Ambrose. Well, I'll assume you're caught up then. That or hopelessly confused. Corporate demanded a product they could throw onto shelves. That put the squeeze on low at Chem to develop formulas. Samples. But how do you know if the product works? You run tests, see what happens. That's where human inquiry and auditing came in. I ran HIA, and HIA ran the tests again and again and again. And what happens is a whole lot of wasted time and even more bodies.
So what was Spacer's Choice testing
You've heard
for?
the adverts, right? Work day and night, still feel refreshed the next morning. Now, what we tested for was dexterity, efficiency, compliance. The traits of a good employee. Numbers never came out right. I could have pumped gallons of those chemicals into every living soul in this colony. Wouldn't have changed that. What we got was marauders.
So you gave colonists drugs until they snapped?
And I got a hefty corporate paycheck for it, too. Up until it all fell apart. That's not the part that made Spacer's Choice give up, anyway. You can still buy adrenatine, after all.
What happened? Why'd the facility shut
A
down?
few weird accidents, escapes, minor setbacks. But one day, all the test subjects got loose. Sabotage, they said. Wasn't just us. All of the facilities got hit hard. Shut us down for a while. That turned out to be the last straw.
Do you know who was behind it?
Didn't much care by then. Don't care much now.
All right,
Spacer's
Mary.
Choice wasn't getting much use out of us anymore, so they shuttered the project, kicked adrenatine out the door. And I came here.
But why did you hide away on the
I could have
groundbreaker?
gone back to Byzantium, found a position somewhere else. Even started up something new, like Mosley. But I couldn't stop thinking about. Indulge a scientist. What do you want out of this investigation of yours? Trying to liven up your memoir?
Someone should know what Spacer's Choice did.
Really? What good can that possibly do? Your crew feel the same? Heck of a world out here for the shy types. What do you get out of headbutting murderous auto mechanicals for your captain here?
A family. Or something near to it. We don't always get along or nothing, but what family does?
Fair enough. That's all I've got. Here, I still have this pass. Don't much feel like hanging on to it anymore. Made my exit the moment the project started falling apart. Had to steal some credentials. This should get you into the volunteer induction entrance.
Any advice? You must have known the facility pretty well.
Come on. I've left it behind me.
Sure, it definitely looks like you're coping.
Yeah, well, you have to go on, don't you? Guilt's a useless emotion. What good is thinking about the past over and over and over again?
Help me and you can put it behind you. I'll take care of
Please.
everything.
I don't need... Fine. Fine, here, I remember one of my access codes. Just punch in the keypad equivalent for replication. Should get you into the offices. Maybe get you to my terminal a little sooner.
I'll leave you be.
Yeah. I'll make sure the auto mechanicals don't bother you on the way out.
Already took care of that. I'm afraid you're going to have to put the auto mechanicals back together. Hold on a second. Before I leave here, let me... Yeah, I want to make sure that I've got the... because there are unique weapons in here. These official termination papers stamped with the Spacer Choice logo state that Quadira Smythe has been terminated for limping on duty. Oh, how dare she. Okay, have I already accidentally picked this one up? Yes, I have. The electrician's gear. Too expensive to further produce. Moving forward, employees in high voltage environments should simply avoid touching anything electric. Okay, that's one of them. Okay, I have a feeling about this other one. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get that one without killing her. She has a unique weapon called Discharge. So, since I can't get that, might as well head out of here. Because that's the only two things down here that I wanted to get. Well, I suppose I might be able to pickpocket it off of her, except for one tiny thing. She's facing you, and you can't get behind her because she's up against the wall of the cage, smoking a cigarette. So, now where to? Find this other guy as well while we're here. And Store that.
Captain, an unknown vessel is approaching our ship. Their intentions are currently indeterminate. Once I deduce their intentions, I will play one of two audio signals. A cheerful fanfare if they are friendly, alarms if they are hostile. Their intentions are no longer unknown.
Are we under attack?
At precisely this moment, Captain? No. Within the next 60 to 90 seconds? Yes. The unknown vessel has deployed a boarding mechanism. They will attach themselves to our airlock and attempt boarding shortly. That sound indicates that a boarding mechanism has successfully attached to our airlock. Captain, I am pleased to inform you that we are currently in the
Oh, you're
process of being boarded.
pleased to inform me of that, huh? You're not supposed to be pleased to tell me we're being boarded,
I
Ada.
have been programmed to simulate joy and excitement at the opportunity to test my limited defensive capabilities. Captain Hawthorne installed a lethal shock trap on our airlock in the event of an invasion. I am prepared to deploy this trap at a moment's notice.
So when you said you had a Marauder deterrent
I was
system,
slogging, Captain. When we met in Emerald Vale, my systems were not fully operational. Even if they were, I might have made an exception for you. The invading ship appears to be a decommissioned storage vessel. The crew are either pirates or freelancers. My opinion of their competence is low.
let them know I'm flattered, but I wish they bought me dinner
That is
first.
unlikely. Judging by the state of the invading ship and the competence of the boarding party, I deduce they are incapable of paying for dinner. Their ship is using a tracking device too sophisticated for their primitive astrogator. I conclude they are receiving outside assistance. If you prefer to make an escape, I can disable their boarding mechanism. However, as long as that tracking device remains on board their ship, they will be able to find us again.
I'll go deal with them myself.
I will be deploying the Unreliable's lethal deterrent system. Please approach the airlock and enjoy the show. Now initiating warm welcome protocol.
Must appreciate such an effective deterrent.
Looks like our opponent knows how to play defense. All right, freebooters, fall back and regroup.
Somehow I get the feeling that these guys...
Everyone all right?
As I was saying, somehow I feel that these guys are tossball players.
Got it. Heads down.
Even more ammo. A sentry saber. Oh, hello.
We got a fight on our hands. Done for. Your victory is their defeat.
Somehow I just steal the lucky sprat foot. A well-preserved foot of an adult sprat. For the superstitious among us, carrying a lucky sprat foot means bad events will pass you by. Of course, it didn't pass by that sprat, did it?
Nicely done.
So much stuff on this one ship. I have a feeling that there's going to be a discussion with the captain, hopefully before we kill him, of why he was looking for us.
Deft hands, Cap.
What do you think you're doing? You and I never crossed paths.
Messages. From Error. Your target is the Unreliable, a small inconsequential ship with no significant defenses. Freelancer owned and operated, captained by a 2-bit smuggler who goes by Alex Hawthorne. Intercept the Unreliable, eliminate Hawthorne and any crew in your way. I've sent you in advance, along with a tracking device for your astrogator. From Firefly Company Storage and Transport to the Freebooters team, the Firefly Company is currently experiencing an exciting period of growth and change. We are happy to announce that 3 different companies, including but not limited to Spacer's Choice, are currently in the process of negotiating for ownership of Firefly Company's properties. As part of these negotiations, Firefly Company has agreed to dissolve its Freebooters Tossball property so as not to challenge, compete with, undermine, or in any way disrespect the Tossball teams owned and deployed by any company interested in acquiring us. We are pleased to inform you that the Firefly Company has formally renounced its ownership of the Freebooters Tossball brand and all related properties. Furthermore, please be informed that all Tossball-related positions, including but not limited to players, coaches, maintenance, automechanical units, and laborers, are now formally dissolved. Please be reminded that your lifetime indenturement contracts have not been dissolved. Your labor and services remain the sole property of Firefly Company into perpetuity. Please be reminded that offering your services to a competitor is strictly contrary to colony law and may be punishable with arrest, imprisonment, mandatory re-education, and or a surprise audit. Furthermore, any independent contract work, also known as freelancing, is strictly contrary to the terms of your lifetime indenturement contract. Your positions have been discontinued as of the receipt of this message. Notices on following instructions. Team, there's a time for improvisation and a time for following instructions. Understanding the difference is more of an art than a science. If you find yourself thinking a creative solution to a problem, ask yourself, what are some of the consequences of my solution? Am I behaving in a way consistent with the values of the freebooters? Let me give you a practical example. Say I ask one of you to repair the piping in my lavatory. I understand we've got a bit of a parts shortage here in Halcyon, so you might try to improvise, using a plasma rifle instead of a welding torch, for example, or tossball sticks instead of chisels. These are all terrible ideas. Why, you ask? Well, if you think about it, the answer will be as obvious as the hole in my lavatory wall. Don't be sorry, be better. On practice. Team, practice is important. The best tossball players devote every waking moment to the study of their craft. Scripture tells us our lives are defined by our role in society. Our role is to play tossball. We are never off the field because we never stop being tossball players. Some of you took this advice to heart. You're practicing your pitch and your swing in the commons. I don't have to remind you all of the incident involving a tossball in my entire case of Spectrum Red. Now, I understand you're all eager to play. We haven't had a lot of matches since corporate scuppered the team. But today I had to pry a tossball out of a shattered terminal. That could have been our astrogator, and then I would have had to space the party responsible in accordance with team regulations. Please don't force me into a position where I have to discipline you. I'd expect you all to behave in a manner consistent with freebooter values, which includes only destroying equipment while on board an enemy ship. Well, I suppose I actually have to talk to him.
You know, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping you'd play by the rules. We could have had a good old-fashioned boarding. Now you're barging into my office, muddying tracks all over my floor. A little respect for the ship. Is that too much to ask?
Well, I've also killed your team. Hey, you were boarding my ship, asshole.
Yeah, but I had every intention of respecting the upholstery. I would have had you spaced or shot in the bathroom or something. You're the captain of the Unreliable. You dropped out of the sky in Emerald Vale, and whatever you've been doing on Gorgon, you've upset my employer. You and I are in a bit of a situation. I don't get paid unless you're dead. And a man's gotta make a living. You understand.
I understand you want to walk away alive. Let's talk terms. You know, this is one of those rare cases where I think intimidate is actually the better option.
All right, easy. You made your point. I know when I'm outgunned. I'm guessing you haven't killed me yet because you want to talk things over, right? I can drop the tossball act and we can have ourselves a conversation.
Somebody hired you to cross me off. I want you to well, nah. Why did you attack my ship?
My team and I were contracted to apprehend the Unreliable, eliminate its crew, and dispose of the captain. I couldn't tell you who hired me even if I wanted to. The contract's anonymous. No names, no faces. Just money and a target. I can't turn down a job like that. You understand.
You and your team are a joke. Take your ship and get out of
You're
here.
gonna let me walk away, just like that. I'm probably gonna regret asking this, but why?
I like number 3, but I'm going to say number 1. I'm feeling merciful. Don't question it.
You're throwing the game out of pity, huh? Well, for what it's worth, I appreciate it. I'll keep my ship clear of yours. You and I will never cross orbits again.
You better hold to
I
that.
got no reason to come after you. Use my credentials to get inside the cockpit and take our tracking device. Our astrogation terminal was tracking your ship. Don't ask me how. Never had much luck with computing devices myself.
And what are you going to tell your employer?
The truth. We never caught up to the unreliable. You vanished somewhere into the void. Astrogator never picked up your location again.
I'm leaving. And putting my gun down. Okay, deck below us. Another light machine gun Mark III. Inventory logs. Error. This vessel has been decommissioned by the Firefly Company. This navigation terminal... There's your link. There's your link die right there. The Firefly Company. Accepted cargo, Firefly Energy Cells. Accepted cargo, Firefly Energy Cells. Accepted cargo, Firefly Freebooters Tossball Team. Cargo delivery failed, vendor no longer exists. Cargo delivery failed, outpost no longer recognized. Cargo discontinued, vessel decommissioned. Tracking device, remove it. Yeah, that was just a little bit on the obvious side, wasn't it?
Sanitizing within established range. Welcome back, Captain. I understand you have resolved your differences with our former boarding party. Are you ready to depart?
Let's get going.
Understood, Captain. Resuming our course.
Another science lab, another dead body. How refreshing.
Hey, that's impressive.
Welcome, Kay Maureen. Reception log. Day 1 through 110. Day 61. Sometimes we experience long power outages. Sitting in the dark, listening to the storm beat at the walls, I've got a lot of time to think. It begs to be let in, while I would pay to be let out. Day 111 to 150. Day 115. Why are there a bunch of tailless sprats running about? This facility don't have a sprat catcher on the roster. Maybe I should file a request with acquisitions for one. Teacup canids are famed for their ability to hunt sprats after all, and for keeping people company. Day 117, no visitors, can't finish my game of solitaire, someone stole a handful of cards from the deck. Day 118, desk unmanned, unsuccessfully hunted for the missing cards. Day 157, Canid request denied. Day 158, we've run out of caffeinoid. Our first restocking shipment isn't set to arrive until the new fiscal year. I guess that delivery will mark the facility's first visitors. Now there's something to look forward to. Day 159, did some digging in the system records. It turns out our supplies are set to be delivered by a crew of auto mechanicals. Day 182, thought I heard knocking on the front door, but it turned out to be just some thunder. Always thunder. Funny how it can sound like so many different things. A boom, a crack, a snap, knocking, laughing, screams. Day 251 to present. Day 277, I've started venturing outside. At first I worried something fierce about all the lightning strikes. Sometimes the electromechanical turbine goes on the fritz without warning. But I'm out of cards and out of caffeinoid, and there's not much else to do. Day 301, turns out I no longer need to feel safe. What I need is to feel alive. Outside, the wind howls like a raging god, and the rain stabs into my throat like 1,000 tiny frozen needles. And in that pain, I feel so very alive. Day 322, my many and varied attempts to trigger an on-site inspection from the Special Committee for Auditing and Management have failed. Day 353, sometimes when I look over the ledge, I think about what it would feel like, how easy it'd be to simply tip forward, to plummet with all those clouds kissing my face, to fall away from the storm, to smile, then break. Yeah, somehow I think she already did that, assuming that's not her right there.
Everything's going to be okay.
Oh good, a fight!
That's the last of them!
Looks like the auto mechanicals arrived with the quote-unquote resupply mission and basically shot almost everyone except for whoever was hiding in that other room. Ah.
Auntie's going to take care of you. Just breathe, Kelly. Everything's going to be all right.
Well, hey, that's something.
Ah! Stop making that noise. They'll hear you. Who's out there?
I'm the captain of my own ship. Open up and I'll get you away from Olympus.
Really? I would be indebted to you for life. But how do I know I can believe you? If the loneliness and the storms and the automex couldn't do me in, I don't think you will. Not today. signs from the stars. I'll open
Congratulations,
right away.
Mary.
Let me just catch my breath. I swear, my heart's trying to punch its way out of my chest. Law, I'm so lucky you came along. I know it sounds crazy, but a little while back, I'd been gearing myself up to take a long walk off a short turbine platform. Then the security mechanicals broke out into a massacre, and I realized I really want to live. How can I help you help me get out of here?
Why is everyone dead?
Pink slip protocol.
The company decided to terminate the team.
How should I know? I just monitor the front desk. Well, except for the last couple of days when I've been hiding out in here. If you work at Oops, you're doing research and development. If we're not researching or developing fast enough, the protocol's there to put the fear in us. Somebody messed up. When one of us makes a mistake, the whole facility pays for it. I know it sounds harsh, but it was in our contracts and everything.
Hold on, this place is called Oops?
Yep. Olympus Orbital Pharmaceutical Station. Auntie Cleo's naming and branding department's the best in Halcyon.
What's the purpose of this
I'm not
facility?
making anything. The research team, they were brewing up some improvement to Auntie Cleo's anthracillin. Science stuff isn't really my area, though, so I don't know more than that.
Who are you?
I'm Kelly Marine, the receptionist. And before you ask, I wasn't manning the visitor's desk when the mechanicals went haywire, because no one comes here. Not ever. Not since all us station workers were dropped off at the start of the project a year ago.
Why are you working as a receptionist if no one ever comes
You're
here?
an odd one, aren't you? No respectable company operates without a receptionist. Project's on a yearly rotation cycle. Once a year, Auntie Cleo reviews our work and decides if we get more rations, personnel, deadlines, that sort of thing. At first, I thought it was an honor, getting assigned to a lab up in the ether high above Olympus. But I didn't know what it'd be like, day in and day out.
I'm guessing it was boring.
Cabin fever sets in at about 90 days. Auntie Cleo's official term is contagious irritable claustrophobia, and it ain't covered by the company's medical policy.
Know where I can find Dr. Lowe?
If I had to guess, you'd probably find his body either in his office or the labs. Or heck, he could have been on the toilet. I don't know. No bones about it, he was the smartest of us all. Maybe he evaded the automex, too.
Appreciate the tip. I'll
Watch
check
yourself out
Jesper's
there.
office.
If it's all the same to you, I'll just sneak my way onto your ship where it's safe. Drop me off on the groundbreaker and I'll be out of your hair in no time.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll just hide in a crate or something. You won't even know I was there. Here, this is my official laboratory headgear. I won't be needing it anymore, so it's all yours.
Thanks, I guess. I still hear auto mechanicals around somewhere.
This thing's orbit is stable, right? 8-inch checks before we dock? Captain?
Oh, didn't...
With all this ammo, I'm not particularly worried about wasting a couple thousand rounds. I mean, I only have 9,245 rounds for the machine gun, so... I would probably sell off some of this excess ammo, except I don't need the credits. Not with more than 156 bits in my inventory. Ah, the storm cannon.
That was quick.
Dr. Lowe's Sky High mix. Okay. So let's see, we've got the storm cannon. Forged from materials found in the atmosphere of Olympus, not recommended for use by anyone suffering from lightning-related trauma. And then in this, we got the cell stability monolens, like a microscope, but strapped to your face. Good for seeing things you really wish you hadn't. And let's see, somewhere down here, Dr. Lowe's Sky High Mix, a small dose of a highly potent caffeinoid. It will reduce the cost of actions during TTD by 80% for 15 seconds. Keep away from small children unless they're having trouble concentrating on their homework. Hack 70, Disabled Sentry Hostility Protocol. Please ensure all human resources have been properly disposed of in Auntie Cleo's biorecycle containment units. A team shall arrive to close down the lab and recycle functioning equipment within the next 90 days. Hostility protocols have now been deactivated. Have a safe and productive work day. Site Safety Engineer's Log. In the unfortunate event of a necessitated downsizing, the most senior site safety engineer for the sole member on assignment shall initiate, by mandate of Auntie's corporate headquarters, the Pink Slip Protocol Manufacturer's directive included within all automechanicals stationed at the facility. From the site safety engineer, sit here and guard the red button, they said. Sounds like an easy paycheck, I said. I'm not going to live in a secret lab in the middle of a gas giant storm-riddled atmosphere, my ex-wife said. No one told me I'd eventually have to press the button I was guarding. The Pink Slip Protocol button, that final choice between diligent duty or my friends. On second thought, let's be honest, they were never my friends. Once I've disabled the protocol and scrubbed the labs, I'll ask corporate for a reassignment. I hear Emerald Vale's real nice this time of year. Recent security complaints. Sprat tails in the coffee. Whoever keeps cutting off sprat tails and dropping them into innocent, unguarded cups of coffee needs to cut it out, or I'll cut off something of yours next. It's not funny, and I'm tired of cleaning up coffee-colored vomit. Regarding lost cards. Missing Queen of Hearts, 5 of Clubs, all aces, and the 3, 7, 8, and 9 of Spades. Last seen on my desk in the solitaire spread. Reward if found. A friendly game of whist. Even if not returned, we can make do. Really, come play with me. Betting not required. Or we can place bets if you'd rather. I've got a couple packets of sugar-free 0% sweetener left. I could barter. Power outage thefts. Some thefts have been happening each time the power goes off, and the power keeps going off for longer each time. Coincidence? I think not. Folks are getting antsy as the year and the storm stretches, and that makes them mean. Still, Pink Slip Protocol? Seriously, Auntie Cleo, what were you thinking? Dead workers are unproductive workers, remember?
Well done.
Clever.
Unexpected noise beginning to...
Nice hit!
Thought I had disabled the security on that. Apparently that didn't apply to these. Maybe, or maybe we'll learn more from this terminal. Yeah, it's two separate protocols. Welcome to the project. What is Anthracillin Plus? Anthracillin Plus mint flavor, works on humans and canids. Added a plus sign to the name. As you can see, branding is still working out the kinks, but luckily we've plenty of time to finish the formula before they finalize the packaging and slogans. Now, let's get to work brewing a bigger, better version of Auntie's Anthracillin. The hostility protocols for all orbital station automechanicals assigned to the lab are currently disabled. Let's hope they stay that way. Project update. Team, we're temporarily redirecting our efforts to perfecting Dr. Lowe's proprietary Sky High mix, which maximizes genius and productivity. After sampling Dr. Lowe's Sky High mix, the team agrees that this will enable us to reach our original product goals better in the long run, and so is worth a momentary detour. Project data, meeting notes. This record is abbreviated due to an unscheduled chemical leak that permeated the meeting room. The resulting and immediate inhalation of noxious gases caused double vision, hallucinations, an uncontrollable sense of giddiness, and projectile vomiting. Side effects occurred in all meeting participants. As such, we cut the time block down to 1 hour from the standard 2-hour review. Oh, let's see. Yep, testing data. Sky High Mix Test Concoction 9B. Administered to Raptidon. Raptidon exploded. Administered lower dosage. Raptidon exploded, but more slowly. Sky High Mix Concoction 009C. Administered single drop to self. Woke on the turbine platform, naked, drenched, and holding a handful of severed sprat tails. Sky High Mix Concoction 110. Replaced calculations. Sky High Mix Test Concoction 010A+. Added mint flavoring. Tested on canid. Breath markedly improved. Canid exploded. Progress report. Milestone 1, met. Milestone 2, met. Milestone 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, not met. Milestone 12, in progress. Well, I guess now we know why they initiated Project Pink Slip. Or the Pink Slip protocol, I mean. Password disabled. Notice, password input disabled. Too many failed password attempts. Last login. Perfect recall when the numbers and letters are swimming around on the page at the time doesn't help with horse-fucking shite passwords. Incoming messages from E. Mara. Advisory notice to the lead chemist at the Olympus Orbital Pharmaceutical Station. No satisfactory results have been submitted in 11 months. Pursuant to Clause 0059 PSP 733.25, if measurable and material proof of progress are not approved within 31 days, station personnel may be found to be in dereliction of duty and as a result could be prematurely terminated. Who cares about your health more than Anti-Cleo? Nobody. Postscript. Jazz, my darling genius, as you are likely now well aware, I must humbly regret to inform you that my exhaustive efforts to protect that beautiful oversized brain of yours, and consequently its nefarious agenda, are in fact failing faster than your rumored last project on Gorgon. I repeat, the corporate hounds are onto your dodgy scent, and it's made them thirst and bay for blood. If I cannot supply the executive floors with tangible, undoctored results, and soon, I'm heartbroken to report that Pink Slip Protocol will be initiated by majority vote, and the project will be scrubbed. I hope you understand the full weight of what that means. One canned project is an embarrassment of epic proportions, twice as unforgivable. Please, 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 I am begging on bended knee, send me a working prototype. At this stage, even a fatally flawed one will do. Save yourself and your lab coats before this reflects poorly on my permanent record. Eternally yours, until the next failed delivery milestone, your Chief Efficiency Inspector, Dr. Mora. Outgoing messages to E. Mora. Nora Mora, my once darling, as you are likely now well aware, I don't want you to beg, I don't want you on bended knee, I don't want anything except to feed this infernal, indefensible, insatiable need. I am so close, so very nearly on the cusp of salvation. Then and only then will I send you that blasted Anthracillin Plus, a ludicrously simple modification I could formulate in my sleep, were I ever able to sleep. No longer yours, no longer anyone's but that elusive and fleeting embrace of chemical virtuosity, with regret, Jasper. Let's see, drafts. Pink Slip Protocol. Really, you hullheads went there? Never would I have thought you'd stoop so low, or more accurately be so moronic as to cut off your own noses to spite your faces. He's saying what we were all thinking. True, the project was delayed, but we all know I would have delivered more than adequate results eventually once I'd ascended to the highest peak of my genius. We were less than months away. Not that I'd expect a pea-brained layman to understand. Nora is wasted on you lot, I am wasted on you lot, and might I just add, though I might have invited you to do your worst, you did try your best, but I am still alive. Nevertheless, I do go on, and I never ever forget. Payback will be swift, oh yes. I scarcely think you'll see it coming. Just as soon as I perfect my formula and can focus on other matters, then you will rue the day you pink slip the great Jasper low. Go on, start ruing. Buffoons, eternally misunderstood and undervalued and still misappropriating your precious company resources, the employee formerly so known as Dr. Jasper Lowe. Well, go on, start ruing.
The artist, Captain.
Obviously, someone at this household has been busy watching Pinky and the Brain. Or was that family turbine platform key card? Oh, goody. Now, wherever will I find one of those? Hope not, since it said nothing about leaving. Aha.
When there's a tragedy, routine is a blunder.
Okay, Doctor.
Shush. No talking. Concentrating. Damn it. I almost had it. The formula was in my mind and I almost had it. I was so close to a breakthrough, I could practically taste it. You really did pick the worst time to manifest.
I'd appreciate it if you come to your senses. I'm in a hurry.
Oh, hang on. I see what's happening. You're real. Ergo, not a hallucination. This is interesting. I have several questions for you. Let's start with the obvious. Who are you, and how are you even alive?
I was going to ask you the same thing. What happened here?
All sorts of things. Science, mainly. A little bit of research. If you're talking about all the dead bodies, that'd be the pink slip protocol. Right. That answers that. Next question. Do you come bearing fresh pharmaceuticals?
May I suggest caution? Hallucinations can be quite tricky to navigate.
Look, we all know you're here to interrogate me. If I'm going to go through this ordeal, I'm not doing it sober.
Yes, you are. Interesting device. What are you taking?
My inhaler. It's designed to deliver a highly concentrated dose of Sky High right through my respiratory system. The formula's still a work in progress. Clears my mind for a few precious moments. The rowdy tenants of my mind palace stop their chattering, and in that silence, I experience clarity. Inspiration through inhalation. That's Sky High. Or it will be, once I perfect my formula.
I need to get inside the chem lab on Gorgon.
You don't. There's nothing interesting in the chem lab. There's nothing interesting in Gorgon at all. Gorgon is a featureless rock dragged along by the gravitational current of a barren asteroid belt. The chem lab is a graveyard. You won't find anything there but the dead.
Sounds familiar. Someone's been warning me to stay off Gorgon.
It wasn't me. I've been stuck in this place for ages. In any case, it's becoming obvious you're not listening to sensible warnings. If you've set your heart on exploring my old labs, I won't try to dissuade you. Indulge me with a favor, and I'll give you the access you want. The electromechanical turbine is offline. Without any power, I can't possibly continue my work. Be a dear and reactivate it for me. That's all I ask.
I'll take care of it.
Take the elevator to the storm platform at the top of this facility.
Well, if that's all he wants. Yeah, and I managed to carefully avoid actually giving him any more drugs. Not like I had that many unless he wanted some adrenatime. Can't get into that.
Certain you're not all about to die horribly. Relatively.
Well, someone tried to get to that terminal.
Cisco.
Here we go. That's the last of them.
Why do I have the feeling I could probably have diagnosis, maintenance required? Electromechanical turbine status, maintenance required. Tower 1 offline, Tower 2 offline. Oh joy.
Well done. We are victorious.
Kind of figured there was at least one more of those out here. And Tower 2 is conveniently hard to get to. Because apparently white space captains can't jump. Welcome, user. Junior Electrical Technician number 9. Security turrets are non-operational due to critical damage. Well, apparently I could turn off the turrets, had I come back here earlier instead of, you know, blowing up the turrets.
You sure we can't hang around for a bit? I want to get a look at its innards.
Good night, Di. Take care, man, and thanks for the support.
Facilities back on the grid, and my pipes again floweth with the sweet, sweet essence of my salvation. I suppose I have you to thank for realigning the machine. Of course, Jasper, you imbecile.
It's done. Now get me inside the chem
You need my
lab.
voice to get into the chem lab. I'm obviously not coming with you, so I'm giving you a recording of my dulcet speech. This recording should get you into the chem lab. I hope whatever you're after is worth the trauma. I wouldn't go back there if I was higher than the mercury levels in a can of salt tuna.
Oh, wait, you are.
Take my gun while you're at it. If you end up dying on Gorgon, there's a non-zero chance I'll feel partially responsible. Neither of us want that.
I need some help with security in the chem lab. You know
Die,
that place
perhaps?
better than anyone.
Automechanical sentries are generally programmed to ignore
That's
corpses.
not helpful, Lo.
I don't like the idea of going back to that place. To that life. Yes, I know it's not me risking my throat gallivanting around Gorgon. It's you, for whatever madcap reasons you've got. I've helped you once, and I don't feel great about it. I made a clean break from Gorgon, and now it feels like you're asking me to tether myself back to that place.
Jasper, let me worry about Gorgon. Helping me could help you
Suppose
move
you've got
on.
a point. Or something resembling a point. I'm emotionally addled right now, and I'm allowing my sentiments to get the better of me. Here, my personal security keycard. There's a hallway near the processing room. It leads to a security terminal. Use this keycard to unlock the hallway and disable security. Even if I wanted to talk about Project Gorgon, I couldn't. All my memories of Gorgon are intact, but they're in disarray. Like a book with its pages shuffled. Making sense of those memories requires clarity of mind. Clarity that only Sky High gives me. To tell you everything I know, I'd have to be dangerously euphoric. Surely you jest. Even were I inclined to teach you, which I am not, you wouldn't be able to replicate an alternative to Compound X. The compound is derived from the metabolic waste of xenocytes, a microbial life form growing beneath the surface of Gorgon. However, they're accursedly sensitive to their ecosystem.
Can't get them off world.
When Project Gorgon was active, corporates' varied attempts to port xenocytes off-world killed them. Every time. And even were one able to cultivate xenocytes in a petri dish, they'd need millions to refine even a dash of the compound.
We mined immense amounts of Compound X directly from subterranean caverns in Gorgon. So you see, there is no Adrena time without Project Gorgon. Did you snoop through my things? And just admit it to me. You do have gall, I'll give you that. Look, I keep a draft on my terminal where I vent my occasional frustrations with upper management. It's honestly one of my less detrimental coping methods, as I am not stupid enough to fill out the name in the address field.
I should go. I have what I want, and... Oh. And he gave me employee benefits, a science weapon. This experimental device was created to keep employees on their feet regardless of how much pain or exhaustion they may be experiencing. As all good workers know, unconsciousness is just another word for wage theft. Okay, can I port back to the ship from here? No. I actually have to go down to the ship. You know, I think there might be one more thing here. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I already got it or not, so I'm just going to go ahead and check while I'm at it. Oh, yeah, back the way I came, and way up in the corner. Oh, I did already grab it. Okay. Well, good. And I'll pick up that bypass shunt while I'm here. Now I just have to remember where the darn elevator is so I can go back down. Not that elevator, that one goes up. And get back to the ship. And get the heck off of this place. Aha. Now, do I actually have to go take her to Groundbreaker? Let's check. Apparently no. Weird. Oh.
We are now in orbit above Gorgon.
Wait. That's why I didn't have that. I've got the storm cannon in my inventory. Okay, well, having one science weapon with me can't be bad. Okay, so we know where the chem lab is.
Let's hope Jasper's pharmaceutical special blend hasn't affected his voice enough to keep it from opening the door.
You think the voice lock's hard to make? I kind of wonder if I should put one in the bathroom to keep Sam from smashing up the toilet.
This facility is currently experiencing a heightened security event. Accessing this facility requires voice-modulated passphrase. Please speak the passphrase.
We attest to the zest with our hand on our chest. Be impressed as our guest by what we've finessed. You are blessed to ingest what we thoroughly test. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice.
Passphrase accepted. Access granted. Welcome, Dr. Jasper Lowe.
Almost hard to believe something so awful as Drina time came from a place that looks so normal. Normal aside from the bodies, I mean. And the blood. Oh, so much blood.
Terminal access. Welcome, Wang C. And actually, Carrie, it's not really that bad because the journal does point you in the direction you want to go. You just have to be careful when you pick up a new quest. It tends to automatically switch to that quest away from whatever you were trying to do. This urgent notification brought to you by the Spacer's Choice Automated Subversive Behavior Notification System. Please be informed that one or more of the following high priority conditions are likely to be active in your office or workplace: escaped Primarchs, unlawful discussion of subversive cultural material, extended and unauthorized breaks. Please notify your supervisor immediately. If you are the designated supervisor of this workplace, this message constitutes your official notification. This is an automated response. Please do not respond directly to this message. Messages. Jasper, I've been taking your messages at my terminal like you asked. This one's from management. Please take a look at this. I could get in trouble for deleting it. Dr. Lowe, I speak for everyone at the OCI when I express my disappointment in your work ethic. The quality of Compound X harvested and enriched at your laboratory falls well below Spacer's Choice standards. It is my professional opinion that the quality of one's work reflects in the quality of one's spirit. Lazy workers deliver lazy work. Round up your researchers, fire 1 in 10. I expect you and your remaining researchers, that basically the other end of that email. Jasper, I know you told me not to bother you when you're working, but I'm running out of options. I understand you're busy, so I boiled down my list of concerns into simple yes-no questions. Just respond with why or in. 1. Did you read Goodfellow's letter? 2. Am I on the chopping block? 3. Has security talked to you about some type of corporate spy in our ranks? 3A. Is there a spy? 4. Did you know Padilla's heart gave out after a 72-hour shift? 4A, are you attending the wake? I've got staff coming to the receptionist desk looking for answers. What am I supposed to tell them? It's not the best choice, it's the only choice we've got? How are you going to respond? From Low. Subject, please respond. N. Respectfully, Jasper Low. Chief, I found a key in the locker by the lavatories. The key belongs to Dr. Lowe. Please retrieve the key and return it to him. I do it myself, but Dr. Lowe can be pretty paranoid. If I show up at his door with the key in hand, he'll assume I stole it in order to fabricate a reason to check up on him. Whoop.
I've switched on the laboratory's security system. I trust the mechanical.
Hold on. I thought this place was supposed to be abandoned. You think that could have been the spooky voice from OCI? The one calling themselves a ghost?
Not very sanitary anymore, if it ever was.
Good grief, this gun is practically useless.
Nice hit!
Everyone all right?
No, not that one. Ah. On this level.
How the devil do I use this thing? Is it what? Oh, the barrel's turning. All right. I feel like an absolute idiot barking into this horn. I shouldn't have let Lucian talk me into this. What use do I have with audible notes? Posterity my ass. Ah, great fucking law. What's it doing now? Jasper! Jasper, it's... How do I turn it off? It won't.
Just press the button.
The what?
Oh, for law's sake, the button, Ollie.
Accursed thing.
Okay, keep quiet.
Well, keep quiet and don't walk through the electrical arc. I have had that problem in so many games where it's like you're supposed to be avoiding the traps and they walk right into them.
Here we go. That's the last of them.
You're fast.
The effects of Compound X are inescapable. The refined excrement of the xenocyte life form. It's a fine powder, very fine. It finds its way into absolutely everything. Even in the water now, and the air. It settles like a veil over all of Gorgon. The laboratory...
Careful. Seems like they had a surplus of traps they decided to get rid of all at once.
We're at each other's throats in an instant now. I've had to break up 2 fistfights this week alone. This aggression must be inherent to the formula, to Compound X. How do I stop it?
Also, I should probably thank Olivia for that new Tanaka's Peacekeeper. Let's try that instead of that. Powerful enough for a guard, but made for a manager. Tanaka's Peacekeeper. I'm not very melee oriented, but crap.
Incoming!
I wonder where this leads to. Good. It leads back to this. Security office status. Lift access restrictions. Disable automechanical hostility protocol. Return to root. Automechanical status. Okay, good. Well, someone's going to be disappointed that I disabled that. Also, as I was saying, I'm not entire. I should probably thank Olivia for that wonderful mental Polaroid, because it basically means anyone who took Adrenatime basically injected themselves with xenocyte poop But at least that takes care of all of that. Critical update. This is an automated message triggered by the Spacer's Choice Contingency Management Programming. Please do not respond to this message. Congratulations, Contingency 77-1, Abundance of Raw Material, is now in effect. Due to a higher than projected volume of Compound X harvested in the slab, your production quotas have been raised by 200%. Please bear in mind that bi-weekly quota reviews are automatically generated and forwarded to Project Gorgon Administration and the Office of Creative Incubation. Any dereliction in production will be reflected in your review. Experimental notes. Not found. Memory retrieval failed. Corruption detected in memory unit. Physical damage detected. Open one log. Exposed Compound X to N-ray concentrate for 30 seconds. Consulted research notes. Notes incomplete and damaged. Exposed Compound X sample to N-ray concentrate for 60 seconds. Sample failed. Toxicity levels high. Disposed. Exposed Compound X sample for attempt 90. Woke up, fell asleep at table. Sample failed. Overexposure to lab atmosphere. Toxicity levels high. Disposed. Researcher's addendum. Unplanned sabotage event destroyed any relevant research notes. Forced to rely on outdated notes. Expected time lost 6 to 16 months. Attempt to replicate research unsuccessful. We'll try again after resting eyes for a minute.
Primals, too? They wanted to make sure they made all the bad decisions, didn't they? Careful, you're hurt!
Careful, you're hurt!
That's the last of them.
Unexpected.
Great work.
And once again, it didn't shut them all down, but I suppose it could be on a different system, or this is an anti-intrusion measure while the others were just set for general hostility.
I wonder. This is where Lo was when his mind was pushed to its breaking point.
You survived. You're remarkably intent on scuttling my every plan to end you. How inconsiderate. Especially after I've gone to so much effort to see Gorgon rest in peace. Why do you insist on waking it up?
But Gorgon's been a ruin for years and years. You think they've been there the whole time?
You know, you would be much more relaxed if you released your attachment to the past.
Admin functions. Override synthesis and manufacturing center lockdown. The other executive lockdown has to be overridden at HIA. Incoming messages from Ambrose O. Pursuant to last week's incident, new security practices are now in effect. All lab personnel must tidy their workstations at the end of their shift. Close and lock all drawers, safes, closets, vents, and lab doors before leaving for the day. All visitors must be accompanied. Furthermore, any lab tech accompanying a guest who has not received certification in either self-defense or hand-to-hand combat must be accompanied by a member of the security team. All confidential information must remain as such. Do not discuss the nature of your work outside or inside the lab, except to warn peers of imminent danger such as fire, chemical spill, or corporate espionage. All lab techs are to isolate themselves until further notice. Any lab tech found fraternizing in groups of 2 or more, or found speaking with the same person more than once, will be remanded to Spacer's Choice Human Resource Re-Education and Reallocation Department. Finally, unless you are actually physically sitting in an interview session pre-approved by me, do not speak to the journalists. Also from Ambrose, I dug into the volunteer data Marion sent over. You were right, the current formulation is resulting in alarming outcomes even by SC standards. Priyantha and I performed a handful of autopsies on this week's deceased and made a few notable observations. In one case, that of a young man in his early 20s, we noted a degree of gray matter loss one would expect to see in a man of 70. His brain had also atrophied to a shocking extent, again as one might expect in a much older man. In another case, that of a woman in middle age, the woman was no longer able to achieve natural sleep. After 11 consecutive days of wakefulness, she was no longer able to distinguish her violent hallucinations from reality, yet even as she spiraled, she demanded additional injections. I was sure our last tweak would reduce the incidence of violence among the volunteer population. We might attempt to further refine the compound through partitioning, though I'm doubtful that will be efficacious. Violence aside, I'm growing increasingly concerned by the habit-forming nature of the compound. From Ambrose O. Monthly physicals. The materials we work with are dangerous and will result in permanent injury, disfigurement, or madness when handled for extended periods. Therefore, all lab personnel will now report to the project physician, Dr. Priyantha LeBlanc, for monthly physicals and psychiatric evaluations. I do this out of an abundance of caution. Schedule your first appointment immediately and notify me when you do. I have access to your medical records, so I will know when you shirk. Do not make me drag you to his office myself. Okay. What about the outgoing messages? Only one. Dr. Ambrose, these days I try to think as little as possible. Thinking is a dreadful habit which leads to self-awareness, which leads to resignation. It's true that the current formulation is resulting in alarming outcomes, but not, I think, by SC standards. SC standards are low. You report 11 consecutive days of wakefulness, and SC sees 11 consecutive days of productivity. You report an inability to distinguish violent hallucinations from reality. SC is going to try to push us to turn those hallucinations into phantom images of company logos. You say the compound is habit-forming, and SC is going to see an increase in demand for our never-ending supply of xenocyte waste. To be serious, yes, the compound is absolutely habit-forming. Addiction correlates with dosage, and dosage is inversely proportional to enrichment quality. As long as corporate asks us to keep our dosage minimal and controlled, there is a reasonable chance we can improve the enrichment process to filter out some of the dangerous side effects. That's going to take time, a lot more time than corporate realizes.
Since we've been traveling together, we've visited a lot of places that set my teeth on edge. This here makes my skin crawl.
I dare say it seems like the inmates were running the asylum here.
About what I'm... You remember the guy who was running it, right?
This would break anyone who had anything even resembling a conscience. This whole project wrought mental destruction on everyone involved, including themselves. All brought to you by Spacer's Choice's best and brightest.
They were pushed to do the impossible by people who weren't accountable.
Sadly, that's just business as usual in Halcyon. Minnie thinks her family has a bad name now. It's nothing compared to how it will be if she compounds on her mother's failures.
Let's get the journal before we jump to conclusions. And archived messages. Only one. Effective immediately, Herbert St. Germain is no longer an employee of Spacer's Choice PR&D division. His body has been forwarded to the chemical waste dump for processing. I understand Mr. St. Germain was a saboteur sent by a rival firm to disrupt our vital efforts. It's only thanks to the swift reporting of one of your esteemed colleagues that Mr. St. Germain was prevented from causing any significant damage to our facilities, intellectual property, or staff. I understand that Mr. St. Germain was popular around the Gorgon campus for his genial and helpful demeanor. That is because he was a spy. If you encounter any similarly friendly staff, alert a member of the security team immediately. We are shifting all of Mr. St. Germain's remaining tasks to other lab technicians. Finally, anyone caught visiting his grave or discussing his departure will be remanded to Spacer's Choice Human Resource Re-Education and Reallocation Department. Okay, well, there is...
Night falls on Gorgon. Though I suppose it's always dark here in the void. The lab is empty, and I am at last alone. I'm preoccupied with thoughts of the single-celled xenocytes that make their home here on this rock.
Always a brilliant idea to use primals as test subjects. Nothing ever goes wrong.
They require adversity to thrive. Perhaps that's why our bodies react to theirs. There is a harmony in us. The law didn't craft us for the void, yet we scrabble across its cold worlds, building, persisting, as the xenocytes do. We live. Against all odds, we live. But for how long?
We've got a fight on our hands.
We live. Against all odds, we live. But for how long?
Okay, something around here was a unique weapon. Or they're supposed to be. On one of the tables. Initial research into primal neurochemistry has proven fruitful. I've discovered a cardiac cell receptor for adrenaline analogous to human cell receptors in function, if not in physiology. It should be possible to develop a pharmaceutical drug that blocks the effect of the adrenaline hormone in primals, thus curtailing their paranoia, agitation, and violent irritability. Correction, it is possible, just unlikely given the way OCI has me under thumb screws. Adrenatime is a dangerous drug. The danger can be mitigated by developing an adrenaline inhibitor. Take adrenatime, then take this theoretical drug to minimize the side effects. I barely have the time, energy, or resources to develop a half-passable adrenatime, so this idea must remain a dream. Nevertheless, my notes follow. Hope springs eternal. Oh, and that was it. Aqua Regia. Putrefaction by swinging action. It's a corrosion weapon. Okay, good. Well, I can get out of here then. And if I remember correctly, yeah.
be a relief to see the stars again. This cave is
Repair all the
making me
equipped.
all jumpy.
Okay. So, with that in mind, we're sitting about 8 minutes away from the end of the stream. So before we get seriously involved in anything else, I'm going to go ahead and call this session here. Hopefully we should be able to wrap up Gorgon in the next episode when I'm going to go to the other site, which I think is here at the SMC, to get to unlock the rest of the security lockdown and get into the secure areas. So, with that in mind, thank you for your support. If you're new and you want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. And have a great rest of your evening. Llama!